rise where you belong. Give you strength to carry on. Open your heart, set your mind at ease. Live your life and you'll be free. We're gonna rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising, rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising,
Good evening, one and all, and welcome to the Toon review for tonight's Face the Lad show. Of course, our new format of what most people would call a fan forum, I guess. But tonight is our usual Face the Lads, where you can get your chance to come on for 5 or 6 minutes, have a chat with me and Billy about Newcastle United, get everything off your chest. Basically, it's a bit like counselling, I suppose. But guys, we've plenty space available, so the link is at the top of the live chat. You don't have to come on camera if you don't want to. You can be on your microphone only. Just hit the link and that'll bring you into the backstage, and we bring you on one at a time. There's only one waiting at the moment, so plenty space, guys, so make sure you hit that link and get on there to chat to me and Billy tonight. I'm already being asked what has happened to the news today. Well, I was going to do the press conference news, but I had a brand new 5-foot fish tank delivered today, and let's just say it's took a lot of time to fill the water, filtration, move the fish, etc. So I just did not get time to do it. But we will go through what Eddie had to say in the show tonight as well. So please hit that link, guys. Come and chat to me and Billy. We don't bite. Let's hear what you guys have got to say. Before we bring our first guest on, though, Billy, the fan zone, that's been given the go-ahead. So work will start on that pretty much immediately.
Yeah, the council kind of said that they would agree to it. I think there's only one naysayer. So pretty unified vote for that amongst Newcastle City Council. And it's all systems go from there, and it'll refurbish that part of the stadium, won't it? Because I mean, it's been a bit dilapidated for a year or two, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Ashley took over that bit of land and did nothing with it really. Yeah, looking forward to it. It'll be a good place to go before the game starts. Hopefully, it won't take too much trade away from the local hostelries, but it'll be somewhere that everyone can meet and have a chat and a drink and whatever, and be close to the ground at the same time. So I think it's fantastic.
I mean, the thing is, I guess with regards to people not getting tickets, they can still go to the fan zone, experience the atmosphere, etc., which is going to be fantastic. I don't know whether they're going to be showing the game in the fan zone. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but maybe they will. Maybe they will. We don't know, but it's fabulous news anyway, because that will sort of make the atmosphere before a game even better than it is already. You know, a place for people to meet up with mates and inside the fan zone, and it's just going to be so much better.
I imagine the 3 o'clock Saturday kickoffs will be kind of hard to navigate around, but the live games, the Sky games and stuff, there's no doubt be TV screens in there to watch the games on. The Saturday 3 o'clock games. I just don't think they'll be able to get around that now.
Yeah. Stephen Harker says, I might join in talking Tanganyika and fish 5-foot fish tanks with a front 3 if Trophius Murai and Bore everyone. Yeah, I know what you mean, mate. The only problem I had was my FX2 filter. I switched it on and it just did not work. So I'm going to have to go and get one tomorrow. I do have a smaller 407 filter. People that know fish will know what I'm talking about. But I need the FX2 in there as well. Right, let us bring our first guest on, and it is Chippers. Good evening, buddy.
Hello, good evening, all.
Good evening, Sam. Doing?
Hi, all good. Just finished work, so I've just grabbed a packet of crisps, as
nice.
to get
nice
food in the system.
So, first of all, we'll ask you about what you thought of the Champions League game, because there's been a lot of to and fro about the performance and whether we, did we deserve a point or did we play well? What did you think of it all?
Whether we deserved it or not, it's still going to read in the history books. AC Milan 0, Newcastle 0. It's just, I think I thought, for the effort you put in, you get what you deserve in games, and for the effort we put in, that was our first Champions League game in 20 years. Milan got to a semi-final last season. It's the first time they haven't scored at home this year. There's so much things you've got to take into consideration, and I think some people have been quite harsh on it, and it's like, we'll have to laugh as well. That up until January last year or this year, our main striker was Chris Wood, because Isaac and Wilson were injured. I mean, it's like, look, it's people just need to just lay off for a bit, and it's,
Absolutely.
it's just, sorry, Paul.
No, sorry. Rachel, thank you very much. Rachel Lilly, our mod, has gifted a Toon Review membership, which has been claimed by To Coin a Phrase. So, To Coin a Phrase, you've been gifted a membership from our mod, Rachel. So, well done, To Coin a Phrase. I mean, look, the performance wasn't great, Chippers, was it? And Billy, we when we did the commentary, we knew that it wasn't great, and we were going to get some sort of backlash. But Sam, I guess the backlash from certain ex-players, we did the show yesterday on the recorded show on what Vidal had to say and stuff, and Ravanelli. But quite frankly, I don't think anybody within the Newcastle United ranks will care what they say, because we got a point.
Exactly. I couldn't give a flying fuck what they say, sorry for swearing, but I just didn't, because if you play like that and get results, it shows that you've got a good team amongst you. I mean, Nick Pope was outstanding, yeah, but then the day he's on there, that's his job. He's put in there to keep clean sheets, and that's what he's done. Arguably, his saves were good, but I would say 90% of them were probably saves you'd expect them to make as a goalkeeper. Yeah. I think the Hernandez one, where he comes leaping in like a salmon out of nowhere and he pushes it over the bar, is the save of it. There's a save where he's got so many boys in front of him, he just sees it until it hits him. So, but like absolutely. As I said, the record books still say AC Milan 0, Newcastle 0, and I think we deserve a little bit of credit. So
absolutely. Lord Wishart, Gary, thank you very much for your £6.10 super chat. Paul, Billy, won't the Strawberry and Shearers get impacted by the stack? I've heard that all matches will be shown as it's an extension of the ground. Well, look, I mean, I think as far as Shearers are concerned, that's all part of Newcastle's United anyway. I don't think the Strawberry will be affected. I think the people that like going in the Strawberry will continue to do that. So there won't be any problem there. Mick, thank you for that advice, matey. Yes, I've got one on, but hey, if someone can come and fit me a sump, I would love to go down that option. But at the moment, Mick, I haven't a clue. But if someone can come and fit me one, I'm all for it, matey. But I don't have a clue on that sort of thing at the minute. Peter says it was the second time ever Milan was held to a 0-0 draw. Exactly. And like you say, Billy, nobody's given us the credit where credit's due, because these guys finished, semi-finalists last year in the competition. But, we got a point at the end of the day, and that's all we can ask for away from home. Worst case scenario.
Exactly. Yeah, anyone will take a point anyway. Even in the league games, it's a good result to go away from home, come back with something. To go to the San Siro, your first Champions League game for 20 odd years. Many of the teams' first experience of European football, let alone Champions League football, to play one of the premier sides in Europe and to come away with a point after a gritty performance. I don't see where the criticism can come from. I really don't. Mm-hmm. It's only jealous, bitter people that are doing it, in my opinion.
Yeah. Ian's asking where my background is. Well, if you, I've got my last year's away top on, mate, so it doesn't actually go with a green screen because you can see right through me, and it's not great. So I've turned the background off for the night and gone with the green theme. Right, Chip, as we've got Brentford coming up at the weekend, do you expect any changes?
Sheffield United.
That's who I meant to say. They're playing red and white. What the hell? Sheffield United.
Well, I haven't heard what Hedy's had to say today, so I don't know who's available, who isn't available. But I would suspect changes. I think you might see a front three change. So you might see Barnes, you might see Wilson, you might see Miggy as the front three. I think he might leave Tonali out and play Anderson, and I think he might possibly take Burn out of it and play either Hall or Target at left back. I think the rest will stay the same.
We spoke about that last night, Chippers, about what Eddie might do. We mentioned both the fullbacks actually possibly getting rested. I mean, would you do that against Sheffield United?
You can look at that, but then you can look and see we've got a League Cup game on Wednesday, and he might do it then because he might think, no offense to Man City, they're better than us. So if we go out, we'll go out. It just means that it's one less competition to worry about. For me, that's the thing with second guessing Eddie. We don't know what he's going to do. That's the beauty of it. He said probably something today, and then he'll do something different on Sunday. So. Again, I
think you'll want to give the cups a go. I mean, I think you'll still be wanting to give them a go. But Billy, just on the Milan game, this is what Eddie had to say today. He says, I thought it was a great result. I felt that afterwards, and I still feel that now. The lads showed great mental strength and resilience. It was a resolute display, and I'm delighted with another clean sheet. A lot of positives.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, he said there's bang on the money. Okay, we didn't look very attacking, didn't look very cohesive in an attacking mentality. But then again, we're playing against one of the top sides in Europe, as I've said before, with Fikayo Tomori performing wonders at the back, with Teo Hernandez threatening like mad down the left-hand side and stopping us from attacking down there. There was lots of pluses to it. Attacking wasn't one of them, but even at the end, we could have stole it. So, all positives for me. I thought we defended fantastically. I thought we were resolute. I thought we were brave, courageous, and every one of them performed wonders, I think.
Chippers, I mean, how do you expect us to go against Sheffield United? Do you want to see us back to the press, last season's way of playing? And are you concerned about the attack at the moment? Because it seems very lethargic.
Firstly, I think, I would like to see us go Sheffield United because I don't see them. I mean, they're all hot and everything, but recently, when I've been watching them, they look very susceptible to conceding late goals because that's where they seem to be conceding all their goals in the last 10 minutes of games. But I think I would like to see us press them because we've got the pace up front to do that. Whether we play with whatever front three players, they've all got pace and they've all got skill and abilities. So I would say whichever one he plays is better than that. It should have the beating of their defence. Secondly, I think, what was the second point again? Oh, completely lost. But I think I think we will beat them on Sunday. I think it's a case of just going out there and just playing be ourselves.
Are you as confident as Stato is?
I think we'll win. I think it'll be like a 2-1 game. I think we'll win. I think we'll go 2-0 up and then they'll get a late goal back or something. I think we're quite capable of, once we get the ball on the deck and keeping it to ourselves, of just keeping the ball and just playing them out of position, because I think you'll go there. They'll all start with their, is it fish and chip song singing and all this, and then first 5-10 minutes they'll be up for it, and then I'll just think again, we'll take this thing out of the game and we'll just take control. It was about the attacking options. I am a bit worried about Isak, to be honest, because I think whether that's his style of play, he looks a bit lethargic in games where you just think on the Tuesday night when he did have the ball, I just think you've got the pace to beat these defenders. I know Tomuri's a world class defender, but you've got the pace to burn him, and he just didn't do it. I don't know whether. I think he's the kind of player that you gauge after 5 or 10 minutes if he's up for it, and if he's not up for it, then it's just going to be one of them days. But it's the beauty of it. We've got Callum Wilson to come on, who scored 3 goals in 5 games, so we've got options. It's not like last season where it was a case of, no offense, but it's Chris Wood. So what are you going for then on Sunday night then, Chippers? What's your prediction? I'm going to say 2-1. I think we'll get the job done. I think, like I said, we'll get a couple of goals, take control, and I think he'll make changes and they'll get a late goal back, knowing that we've got a League Cup game and then we've got Burnley at home next Saturday. We've got a big week ahead, so to get a 2-1 win, just to keep the momentum, just to get the momentum back going again, keep the revs going, it'll do me.
He's actually carrying an injury, isn't he? Eddie Howe said today he's got a slight niggle with his knee. But my issue with him on Tuesday was, if you're playing as a central striker against 2 centre halves, surely you put onto the weaker one of the two, and he didn't. He kind of stuck with Tamori, which to me, he wasn't doing himself any favours there.
Yeah.
I
mean, he didn't get much service. We didn't offer anything really going forward, but it is a worry. Right, Chippers, thanks for coming on, buddy. And
Cheers, Sam.
we'll catch you next time.
Good night, says all. Have a good weekend.
All right, mate.
Good night, man. Right, we've got another one in the queue. Then there's nobody, guys. So if you want to come on, hit that link in the top of the chat. Come on. You don't have to come on camera. You can just come on your microphone and have a chat with me and Billy. See what you thought of the Milan game. And of course, the Sheffield United game coming up. Would you make any changes? If so, what would be the changes? Get yourself on and have a chat with me and Billy. Before we bring our next guest on, Billy, this is what Eddie Howe had to say ahead of the Sheffield United game. It will be a difficult game. They're a good team, a direct team that will ask us questions physically. They have lots of areas that can hurt us if we're not right. The big challenge for us is to approach the game like we did the Brentford match, where we were spot on in our mindset.
I tend to agree with him. I think there's comparisons to be made between Brentford and Sheffield United. I think Brentford are a higher level than what Sheffield United are. However, it is at Bramall Lane. There'll be lots of vociferous Yorkshiremen there shouting and abuse and supporting their side. It's always a hard place to go and get a result from, I think, in Yorkshire grounds, whether it's Leeds, Barnes, whoever. Sheffield Wednesday, as we saw last season. But we should really have the quality to beat them. I've got to be honest. They have got some good players. They have got some really good players. Cameron Archer did really well in the under-21s in the summer. They've got Gustavo Harmer from Coventry, who's a very, very good footballer. Surprised he didn't go to a higher level club than Sheffield United, if I'm honest. Got lots of tricks. He's quite physical. He just went out of steam quite early, though.
And the thing is, though, they've given other teams games this season. It's not like they've been wiped the floor with. They've challenged other teams and they've put up a fight. So I think Eddie's right. I mean, he knows what to expect, but we should overcome them. Next guest on is Ryan. Good evening, buddy.
Hi, Ryan.
Your mic's off, mate. You're still off, mate. We still can't hear you.
You're not muted. It's your actual mic.
Yeah, your mic's not on. Okay. Right, well, Ryan will be back with us, but we do have, is this Mr. 12th Man Toon?
Yes, lads, you all right?
Good evening, how are you doing?
Spot on.
Nice. Right, what was your thoughts on, first of all, the Milan game? Are you as worried as some of the other fans are? I'm
kind of in the middle. It was a bit of a frustrating watch to see them peppering our goals, our goal with shots. But at the same time, we'll take them all day because there were 30-odd shots and stuff. So, but I was a bit concerned with Tonali, but I agree he's just come back from injury, so he'll be getting back up the pace with it.
There's some people in the chat saying tonight that they're worried about Tonali's body language, saying he just does not look happy. But Eddie did state in his press conference today that he's confident that he will get the best out of Tonali. He's not particularly worried about him. But are you worried about his body language or anything like that?
Nah, that's just who he is. That's how he's always been. If you watch these Milan games, then you'd see the exact same stuff for him playing for his boyhood club. Yeah. So it's not really a worry for me. I think he's obviously a professional and he's going to play like a professional. Expect nothing from him.
Yeah. I mean, Billy, this body language thing, I mean, Paul's right there. What he says, he's talking about his body language, but he's been like that ever. If you watch him for Milan, he's got the same body language. He's not this big smiling, grinning. He's the total opposite of Miggy. You know what I mean? If you look at Miggy, he's always smiling and then looks like he's really enjoying himself. And then all of a sudden, you look at Tonali, he's a different personality completely. But you saw when he scored against Villa, Billy, you saw the emotion.
Well, yeah, because he's done something really important for us. I mean, I think the important point, and Eddie Howe mentioned it, is he's only trained once with the squad in a month, which he said after a month of pre-season games and training and stuff, played really well against Villa. And then since then, he's trained once with the squad in a month due to niggles, international breaks and things like that. It's just a case of keeping him with us for a while and training with us and getting used to us again. Yeah. I have been a bit concerned about some of his stuff. I mean, the goal he was partly culpable for at Brighton, I thought was bad. I thought the attitude was bad. I thought the little nonchalant flick with his on the edge of the area was terrible. And then to just watch it and not close it down, I thought it was abysmal. But he's clearly a quality footballer. We need to get him in the game more. That's the key to all, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Paulie, are you worried about us going forward? Have you seen a difference this season? You know, the press doesn't seem to be there. The way we break out in attack, it seems very slow. It doesn't seem as quick as it was. Is that because has Eddie changed it? Does he think, well, we've been worked out that way, we're going to try and do things a little bit different?
I think we'll finally find out this weekend. I think our season properly starts against Sheffield because they're a team who we absolutely have to beat. Even our second rotation team has to beat them. So if we come out with a good press, then I see that setting a precedent for the rest of the season.
I mean, Sheffield United, obviously, you know, like I just said before you came on there, they have given teams a game this season. It's not like they've been pushed over. And Eddie alluded to it in the press conference that he's expecting them to be very physical. So, you know, are we going to match them? And do you expect any changes in the starting 11 from what we saw in Milan, with obviously games coming thick and fast?
I'll be quite disappointed if either Livramento or Lewis Hall doesn't start, because Dan Burn needs a rest, definitely after playing 2 games within a week. And it's a perfect time to bring them in so they can get a good run of games against like a lower tier team. Not to be disrespectful to Sheffield, but it's a perfect game for us to start Lewis Hall. And especially with Gordon on the left, because I think we've got a bit of a disparity on the left and right side, because we've got a good defender on the right side, but a bad attacking defender on the left side. But we've got a good attacker on the left side, but a bad attacker on the right side. So we need to kind of be able to have good attacks on both sides so we can actually produce something and be a bit more unpredictable.
Yeah, I mean, I think Miggy will start, Billy. I really do. I think Miggy will start on Sunday. And I think the left-hand side, I mean, will he rest Gordon? Does he? I don't think Isak will play either, given that he's nursing a knee injury. I don't think he's going to risk him either. So, look, it could be a chance for Harvey Barnes to start the game. We said that yesterday. And again, Harvey Barnes with Lewis Hall, Billy, that would be something that I'd be keen to see.
100%. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's one thing. If there's one thing that Harvey Barnes lacks, it's a slight turn of pace. But we saw last Saturday, as the game went on, he come into the game more and more. His second half, I thought he was fantastic, and I think he deserves a start. I think it was slightly unlucky to be dropped for the Milan game, but obviously rotation and fitness levels and things like that got him down to the bench. But I think he has to start on Sunday. I think he played that well last Saturday. It'd been fair to keep him out for a sustained length of time again.
I mean, Paul, that left side with Barnes and Hall, would that be something that would interest you in seeing?
Oh, yeah, definitely. The only thing is that I think they probably wouldn't last that long during the game, because, like Anthony Gordon said, when he come in January, it took him until at least the summer to actually get used to, like, to get a fitness level that's for the rest of the team. Like, so,
do you think that's a problem, though, Paul? Do you think that maybe the intensity of the training has started to wear the players down a little bit?
I don't think so. I think it's just we need the other players to get up to our level. Yeah, like we're waiting for Tonali to get the level, Livramento, Hall. All the summer Simons need to catch up to the rest of the squad's intensity. So they're kind of like lacking in that department at the minute. Yeah.
Okay, then, Paul, what do you think the score is going to be?
I think we'll beat them 4-1.
4-1.
Yeah.
I hope you're right, matey. I'd like to play that goal scoring music a few times on Sunday. Ever since I've bloody done it, I haven't been able to play it, so never mind. Right, thanks for coming on, Paul. Get yourself on next time, buddy.
Cheers for having us, lads.
Cheers, Paul.
Cheers, mate. Good night. So we've got 2 waiting at the moment, so plenty spaces, guys. So get yourself on. It's pinned at the top of the chat. Just click that link and that will bring you through. You don't have to be on camera like Paul was there. You can just use your microphone, have a chat with us about all things Newcastle United. Billy, again, Eddie Howe talking about Nick Pope, saying he's highly driven, a great professional, and his last 2 displays have been very, very good. And that's the Nick we saw for the majority of last season. He's a difference maker when he plays like that. He transformed our back line and he gives everyone confidence. I'm delighted with him.
I think getting dropped from the England squads gave him a little bit of a kick up the backside. I think he would have felt a little bit hard done to in that respect. And Sam Johnson being brought in, which to me is ridiculous. He didn't have a good start to the season. He has kind of had an operation on his thumb. I did feel he was a bit uncomfortable with it the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season. However, last week against Brentford, I thought he was much better. And then we all saw what he did Tuesday, which was just an unbelievable performance, a world-class performance for a fantastic goalkeeper.
And of course, Eddie Howe was in the Champions League team of the round as well.
And Eddie Howe was pleased with the distribution, which at times was a bit wanting, I felt, but that's always the case in Nick Pope, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I don't think he's ever going to go through full game, Billy, where he's going to be absolutely great. Right, we've got Ryan coming on next, and then we have Peter, and then whoever's on next. Click that link at the top of the chat, guys, and come and have a chat with me and Billy. Ryan, can we hear you now?
Yes.
Yay,
Yeah,
there he is. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm all good. I'm just been busy lately, so you haven't really seen me in the streams at all.
Yep, hey, that's understandable,
Yeah.
matey. What's your thoughts about Milan then?
Well, I only watched parts of the game being in the lab at the time, but it was a bit nerve-wracking to be honest, but you felt like something could come out of it.
Yeah.
Especially at the end, like the one time I switched tabs to the game, I saw Longstaff with the shot at the end, and you thought it goes over, but the keeper saved it.
Yeah.
And then was the last throw in, but like honestly, like I'm proud like we're able to hold them off because it's the first European game in how long? Like we're going to like the one of the most prestigious grounds in Europe and managed to hold out Milan. So I think it's the start of something. That international break I thought came at a good time, to be honest.
Well, were you surprised with Jacob Murphy starting it? And the reason I ask you that, because this is what Eddie had to say today regarding Murphy himself. He says, Jacob was magnificent for us last year. He never let us down and always contributed. He's very reliable, and you know what you're going to get from him. I thought he did a really good job for the team on Tuesday.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I thought it'd still be the same front three. And what was it? He came in for Barnes. So, yeah, like I can't really talk about how he did. I'm not going to fake an opinion and say like I don't like he did well. Like I don't know, but like yeah, I was pretty surprised. Like he came on, but I think he actually did well as like a super sub last year. And
yeah, Billy,
if
you
that
weren't
could
sure.
continue,
You
that's
weren't
good.
sure, were you, on Tuesday?
Weren't sure about
Murphy.
Well, it was obviously been picked for his defensive values rather than his attacking ones, and I think he was specifically catered for Teo Hernandez and Leao down the left side. And I think for that reason alone, and getting the clearance off the line, he justified the selection. We didn't see much of him going forward. He did have one shot that curved wide of the post, but we were kind of on the back foot while he was on, wasn't we? So I mean, he worked manfully, defended really well. He supported Trippier. I thought had a good game from a defensive point of view rather than an attacking one. But obviously, we need more from our attacking players, I would guess. But that was a game where he kind of thrived because it wasn't like that, was it?
Well, exactly. I mean, what he did say was about the midfield as well, because obviously we were struggling a little bit. He says we're still missing Joe Willock and Joe Linton in midfield. Apart from that, we're pretty good with injuries. We hope with Joe Linton that he could possibly be back sooner, but with Joe Willock, it will definitely be after the next international break. Ryan, we really miss Joe Willock at the moment, don't we? Because, it's restricting Eddie at his selections with midfielders, with Joe Linton and Joe Willock missing.
I think with Bruno and Tonali, they kind of like to play like the 1-2 touch game where they take the ball and launch like diagonals. Like Joe Willock's the guy to just take the ball and carry it forward, and I think that's what we're missing. And I think I was calling for Elliot Anderson, like even beginning of the season, people were calling me an idiot for saying him over Joe Linton. But like he didn't. What was the last? Yeah, Brentford. Like he didn't come on like he had a chance, but it was an all right performance. It wasn't like whoa, like he did so well.
Yeah.
So I think like Joe Willock's just that guy in our midfield that you could get a goal from, and that's our problem in midfield. I feel like is the gap between midfield and attack is just it's not clicking right now, and like I feel like we just need to play it more simple and just like go back to basics, but we almost can't because we're missing people like Joe Willock who are so successful.
Specifically his pace, isn't it? It's his pace that we're missing because they're not slow, the midfielders. By
I think there's technicality too.
Like, rapid, isn't he? He has got technical abilities, but the fact he runs forward so quickly with the ball at his feet and supports the wingers, which we haven't had this season, have we? With Dan Burn playing and Joe Linton's been injured, so
he can use both feet as well. Like I find with Bruno, like he's so like we saw at Brentford, he switched to like a left center midfielder, and you felt uncomfortable because every time you want to take an extra touch, go like this way and spring the ball across. Like he's got no left foot on him. I love him, but it's really annoying. It's like Almiron, but with no right foot, or the other way around. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, the thing is, it's a little concerning about Joe Willock, because Eddie did say he'd be back after the last international break, but then of course he injured, and he got another injury, and he's a huge miss, and it must be frustrating, Billy, for somebody like Joe Willock who's watching the team struggle a little bit and think, I could make a real difference to this team had I been on that pitch, and he'll be desperately trying to get fit.
From a personal point of view, I imagine he would be thinking of being in the England squad if he was fit now.
Yeah.
And I think he would have been. I honestly do. I think he offers us something that we haven't got in the midfield England, as well as Newcastle, as I've just mentioned there. The pace he has. He's got a fantastic eye for a pass, as we saw with the ball through to Isak last year for the goal against Spurs. It was a phenomenal pass. Mm-hmm. He's got a lot of technical abilities, as Ryan just mentioned. I actually think he's probably our best finisher in the squad. Unless you have to think about it naturally. I mean, the finish against Brentford, not last season, the season before, was an absolute superb finish from outside the box, curve of the outside of his right foot.
Chelsea game at home, of course.
Lots and lots of lots of qualities that at the minute our midfielders don't seem to have, and we're missing him without shadow of a doubt.
So Sunday, Ryan, Sheffield United away. Do you foresee any changes?
I love to see Lewis Hall start. He's got to play, man. Like, as much as Dan Burn did well, like I feel like he's got to his game doesn't allow him to go forward and be that overlapping complete left back. Like people think he does so well because it's all defensive side. The modern day fullback needs to do both for me, and he doesn't offer that. And like his overlaps, like they're just too late. Like maybe the wrong position of the field he's trying to overlap. He doesn't underlap at the wrong, like when he's supposed to do an overlap. Like it's only so sustainable, and like he's only there for the experience. But we're playing Sheffield United. Like the guy's got to be given a chance at some point. I feel like now's the time to unleash him.
Yeah, this is definitely the game for Lewis Hall to come in and get his debut, Billy, isn't it?
Yes, I honestly think it is. However, the kind of style of play that Sheffield United play probably suits Dan Burn more. Because they are a lump it and hump it merchant team, aren't they?
Yeah.
So
the thing is, sorry, Billy, they play with wing backs too. So like most of the game defensively, it'll just be 2v1s, and then like it'll be 2v1 our way as well. So
that's true.
And what's best for that is like speed and actual technical ability, which on the left you'd probably the best is Hall and Gordon, I'd say. So those two should be there, and they absolutely annihilate Sheffield. There's no reason why a change like that shouldn't happen. And arguably Livramento as well, I think, should get us started. But I think one or two changes max will happen, because you don't want to change too much, obviously, right? Especially since the goals aren't there. Like, yes, the goals aren't coming, but at the same time, you got to pick wisely, I guess, who you're going to take out.
Yep. So what do you think the score is going to be then, Ryan?
3-0 Newcastle.
Wow.
It's got to be. We have to smash Sheffield. Like, there's no excuses, man.
Exactly. Right.
Last
thanks
time
for going.
Oh, yeah. Isak too, I think.
Yeah. You think Isak's going to play?
I think he'll start, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I think Isak with 2, and then I'll go Almiron third goal.
Interesting. It'd be nice to see Miggy get one, actually. But we shall see on Sunday evening. Ryan, thank you very much. And we will speak to you very soon, my man. Thank you very much for coming on.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, Ryan.
So that was Ryan. We've got Peter coming on next, but that is it. There's nobody waiting, guys. So get yourself on. Hit that link right at the top of the description. The chat, and come into the backstage, and we will bring you on and have a chat with me and Billy about Newcastle United, the Milan game, the Sheffield United game. Just come and have a chat with us. You don't have to come on camera. Just keep your mic on. That will be fine with us. No problems at all. Just come and have a chat. Hit that link at the top of the chat.
It's an interesting discussion about Livramento, isn't it? Because
come on, the boy.
Hello, Peter.
Oh, yeah,
I was going to say it's an interesting discussion about Livramento because at the minute I think Kieran Trippier is indroppable, and I think he's kind of also. We need him.
He's superhuman fit.
We have to have him in the side. So how do we get Livramento in it? it's going to be hard to do, isn't it? We've got to rest him at some point as well. So it's terrible conundrum.
we do. Peter, what did you think of the Milan game?
It was kind of good. I was happy with some aspects, but I was very disappointed. Like, that we didn't get a goal, we didn't get a win. I mean, they didn't play that well. I think we should have scored, and we could have won that game easily if we had been on our top form.
Are you worried at the lack of attacking that we've done so far since the Villa game? I mean, obviously, Man City was a bit different. Liverpool, I guess, we did attack. We just didn't take our chances. Brighton was forgettable. But obviously, Brentford, we still didn't really look at it. And then, we came away with a win. We did get a clean sheet. And then we go to Milan, but we really offered nothing going forward. And are you worried that lack of press that we showed last season isn't there?
Definitely 100%. I mean, what's going on? Where's the enthusiasm gone? Where's the pressing gone? Mm-hmm. I mean, I know Eddie said today that Isak's carrying some sort of knee injury.
Yeah.
So he's not on 100%. Me personally, I think we are definitely missing Willock and Big Joe. You know what I mean? Because them are the ones who are getting us forward. They're the one putting the crosses in. Murphy, he's not a class player. He's a standard player. I think Miggy will come in, and I think Gordon will be on the left. I think that's the only two changes he's going to make. Personally,
I mean, Gordon didn't really get himself into the game, did he? On Tuesday night, he had an opportunity, Billy, to go at the full back after he got booked. He just didn't seem to be. I mean, he wasn't the only one, obviously. We just didn't seem to have that oomph up front. I
think with Gordon, I don't think he's kind of had much of a rest, has he? He had the whole summer with the under-21s, pre-season games, full game against Brentford, Tuesday night playing against AC Milan. He's going to run out of steam at some point. I think we rest him on Saturday or Sunday, if I'm honest.
What about playing in Gordon up front? And
potentially.
It's then he's not doing all the running doing the left. He's like,
well, I think Callum Wilson will be. Callum Wilson's fit, so I don't think he'd start Gordon over Wilson. To be fair, but if Callum, couldn't play another 90 minutes for whatever reason, then yes, I agree. I think it would be an option to put Gordon in there if Isak is struggling with a knee injury. But it is a worry the sort of lack of opportunities that we're creating. But would you like to see the full Lewis Hall start on Sunday?
Oh, definitely. I mean, my worry is obviously Eddie Howe's not too keen on changing a winning side. I know we're not exactly winning, but I mean, he's not too keen on changing the side. But my worry is we've got that many games to play. Yeah. What about injuries? Keep playing these players. We're going to get in. They're going to get injured. Then we haven't got the other players to come in when they're injured. It's that's my worry. Big worry about it.
Are you worried about Sheffield United's physicality? Do you think they'll get in our faces? I mean, they'll be up for the game. It'll be a bit of a crowd. They'll be on top of them. They'll be cheering. It'll be quite a hostile atmosphere as it normally is at Bramall Lane. But we've got to overcome that. Of course, last time we went there was a very forgettable game for us. Of course, under Steve Bruce. We don't want that to happen again. We've got to be up for this. We've got to be in the faces from the off.
Definitely. I mean, their position in the league doesn't show their performance because to me, I think it's, they're quite unlucky to have not won a game yet, the way they've played.
They've been all right, yeah.
But that's like Tottenham's come back and other teams have come back and scored at the last minute and that. But yeah, to be honest, even though you're bottom, the way we are playing at the minute, I think it's going to be a hard game.
So what you going for? What's your prediction for the score? Because some people have gone for a big win, some people have gone for a tight one.
I'm going for the 2-1.
Yeah.
I think I'm hoping that you bring Isak on in about the 80th minute and he scores a good header.
Well, we're due a headed goal, aren't we? We We haven't been doing much of that. But listen, thank you very much, Peter, for coming on. Get yourself on next time, and hopefully we'll be celebrating a win.
Great show, lads. Keep up the good work. Come
Cheers,
on,
Peter.
mate.
Good night, mate. Good night.
Good night.
So that was Peter. I mean, going back to Eddie and what he said about Tonali, Billy, saying that he's positive he can get the best out of him. Should that even be a discussion at the moment after 5 games?
No, it shouldn't be really. The question was asked about a holding midfielder, wasn't it? And he said he feels he's got 3 in the squad, which if you're going to count Tonali as a 6, why not play him there? If you know, it's been obvious to all of us that the midfield hasn't gelled properly this season. Switch it round. Give Tonali a go in the 6. If he thinks he's got 3 number 6s, try a different one. Let Bruno go up the pitch a bit further.
He just doesn't seem to know where his actual position is, Tonali, does he? He's sort of going out to the left. He's coming back in. It's a little bit all over the place. But like we said, it's 5 games. It's not like this is, let's judge him in 20 games' time and see where we all are there.
And it's not been 5 easy games, has it? It's been 5 really tough, top of the league kind of games.
Yep.
So,
Right. New guest. Mark, good evening, buddy.
Hi, Mark.
All right, lads.
How are you doing?
All right.
Good. And what was your thoughts on Tuesday night?
I think we did well. The only way I can put it is we're the only they were only the second team that held Milan to 0-0 in the Champions League at home.
Yep.
So can't complain about it.
What about all these? I mean, look, some of our own supporters saying it was an embarrassing performance. What would you say to that?
We came away with a point, man.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Wallace were talking about it, and in our hearts we said 3-0 win, but in our heads we would be jumping over. We said we're jumping about at a 0-0 draw. We came over with a point. We're second in the group at the minute, so may as well go for it.
Very important that we do pick up points away from home, isn't it? No matter what the performance is, the fact that we've picked up a point, which puts us ahead of Dortmund, who of course lost to PSG. It puts us in a really good position, and I'm not saying we're going to get anything against PSG at home. You just never know. Under the lights, James's Park, the atmosphere is going to be absolutely incredible for that game. You just don't know, do you? And it's important that, we keep picking points up.
Yeah, the way I've been thinking about the atmosphere when we're at the Cathedral on the Hill is going to be like a championship fight in the UFC, man. They're going to, even if it's a draw, they need to gun away from that, thinking they've done 12 rounds with Mike Tyson or Frank Bruno, man.
Yeah. That's right, Billy, isn't it? We know. The players and, the manager accepted that the performance wasn't quite there, but we give this determination and teams, I think it just proved to a lot of teams in Europe that Newcastle are not going to be there to be rolled over. There was a lot of nerves before the game and stuff like that, which, possibly won't be there for future games. They've got that Champions League anthem out the way, and now they can concentrate on doing it on the pitch, and maybe a couple of good wins before we meet PSG, and suddenly the season turns around again.
I think that's the key to the whole group. If I'm honest, it's we've seen our grit and determination in a hostile atmosphere, and what these teams are going to be like when they come to St James's Park, when they get that in abundance and more. They're playing 12 men, and if they can't deal with it, they're going to get their asses kicked. And I think that's the key to the group. If they can handle St James's Park as well as we handled the San Siro, maybe we're going to be in for a tough time, but I just don't think they will. I think St James's Park is unique in that. I honestly think under the lights, St James's Park, a night game, European game. I know they're experienced European teams, but I don't think they've seen anything like what they're going to see when they come to us in the coming weeks. I'll be honest.
So we move ahead to Sunday, Mark, and Sheffield United at Bramall Lane, and obviously Eddie knows it's going to be a very physical game. Would you make any changes?
Yeah. I'd bring in Hall, I'd bring in Livramento, and I would bring Miggy. I would start Miggy.
What makes you want to start Miggy?
Well, I've got to say it. Every time he smiles, Wallace goes giddy. So there you go.
So it's for more personal terms.
For the
is it?
missus, aye.
Yeah, of course, yes. I mean, look, Sheffield United they've done all right this season, despite not picking a lot of points up. They've given teams games. Are we due to give somebody a stuffing? Because we haven't looked like it since the Villa game at the start of the season. So is this the game where we can just go out and express ourselves and actually put some goals away and get that confidence up?
Yeah, but our problem is when we started the first game, people were just excited that we were back again, so nobody expected. As soon as we did the 5-1 against Villa, that was it. All these softer new fans and even some of the longer term fans and that, their expectations went like a million miles high.
Yeah.
And then we went through the hardest run of anybody in the Premier League this season. And the thing is, we got the same points now as we have last season already, and we've won 2 games. We'd only won 1 game this time last season. We'd had draws, and like Alex has said in the past, we're going to lose more games, but going to win more as well.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. That Billy is, the accumulation of points can come a very different way this season.
Absolutely, but Sunday's game's about breaking down low blocks, which we couldn't do last season. It's going to be interesting if we can do this year. Have we got as much creativity in the side at this moment? I don't think we have, no. But can we break down a low block? I think we can. We can do, but we've got to be on our mettle to do it. It's what I'm saying. It's not going to be an easy game because we've struggled with that kind of team last season with better players in when they're all fit. So let's just see if we can kind of be on our mettle Sunday, because we're going to have to beat them. It's not going to be an easy game by any imagination.
Yeah. Mark, if we don't get a win, what do you think the reaction will be? Is it dependent on how we play? If we, Alex said last night, if we go out and we have 20 odd shots and the goalkeeper has a miracle performance and they sneak one at the end and things like that. I don't quite see it that way. I think we should win this game. And again, if we get that many chances and don't score, then it's all going to come down to what's going on up front again.
Yeah. I think it's like that banner says in St James's. We don't ask for a team that wins. We ask for a team that tries and plays with a heart. But as you say, though, we have got to the point in our development that, and no disrespect to Sheffield United, Bramall Lane is going to be really, really hard. But we should be beating them 4-1, 5-1. I honestly can't see us getting a clean sheet against them because, like you said, they could sneak one in. But we should be going 5-1.
Yep. So you're going 5-1, Mark? Is that your prediction?
I'm going 5-1, but Wallace says 2-1.
Right. Okey doke. Right. Give our love to your lass as well, Mark, and we'll catch you on the next one, matey.
Cheers, Bonnie lad. Talk to you later. See you later, Billy.
Good night.
Good night, mate. Quality bloke, Mark. Really good supporter of the channel as well. Likes to come on and have his say. We've got one waiting to come on, and then we have nobody else. There's around 12 minutes left of the show. We haven't seen Mr. Reactions tonight, Billy. He must have fallen asleep again.
Yeah, he's not in the chat, unfortunately.
No, he's not. We haven't seen him. He'd be gutted as well because he was desperate to come back on. He may make an appearance. We don't know yet. But Billy, we need to be careful on Sunday of Sheffield United's, set pieces, don't we? Because that's where they will believe that they can hurt us. Yeah,
they were typical, just been promoted club, aren't they? I mean, Burnley are doing it a different way, of course, and it's not working for them either. But set pieces is kind of Sheffield United's meat and drink, I guess. The fact that McBurnie isn't playing doesn't help them. He's suspended, of course.
Yeah,
gangling centre forward.
Yeah,
but I think that they'll see that as their best way of scoring. Maybe a long range shot from Hamer because he's good at that. Gustavo Hamer.
He is. We need to be careful, close them down quickly before they get a chance to shoot. Billy is exactly what you're saying there.
100%.
Did you know? I don't know whether you saw it in the Burnley's press conference with Vincent Kompany. They kept on talking about Manchester United to him, and he eventually just went, "Look, we're not Manchester United. We're Burnley. Stop asking questions about Manchester United." and good on him as well, because it's just a.
Why would they ask him about Man United? It's ridiculous.
Well, honestly, it was just ridiculous, man.
Do they have to be in every conversation about football that everyone ever has? It's just pathetic.
Apparently so. Fairs, good evening to you. He says, I think that team that tries line is something that really should be applying to the top 6 teams going forward. We should be smashing teams like Sheffield, regardless of effort, in my opinion. Yes, very much what Stato said last night. Right. This is Viexi.
Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, we can. Is that how you pronounce it? Viexi?
Yeah.
Is that just your username?
Yeah, I try to change it. My real name is Jake, but I try to change it. But let's not even ask about that. I try.
All right, no bother, mate. Right, I believe it's your first time on the show, so welcome to you.
Well, my name is Jake Thompson. I have been in the chat before. Like, I do normally I come in every time. It's just obviously I try to change the name, but that's why you probably read it. Well, who the hell's that? But yeah,
well, I did. I was puzzled when it came up. I thought I haven't seen that username before. Yeah. Right then, Jake, what did you think? First of all, Tuesday night, were you proud of the lads, or do you think we could have done a little bit better?
Well, I was watching the match, and I thought that we're done all right, but I feel like we're still, like, when it comes to free kicks, I feel like we're still not using Tonali on free kicks. Like, we're always using Trippier on free kicks when he's not been doing good recently on the free kicks. I think we should use Tonali, who's world class, on free kicks. Like, we've got to use more of the stuff that we're capable of. Just like Dan Burn is too slow, and we keep using Dan Burn when we know he's slow. Like, Dan Burn, no one wants to slag him off, but like, he's not fast enough. Like, he's too slow. Like, Mbappe is just going to run past him because he's too fast. He can't overlap the runs, and he's just going to get paced past.
Well, I think if the PSG manager has any sense, he would swap Mbappe onto Dan Burn's side. But look, we've said this about Dan Burn in the past, Billy, about his pace. When he's going against Salah, etc., and he's done all right, to be fair. Take nothing away from him. We've said his passing was terrible on Tuesday night. It was all over the place, but his defending was magnificent. Second half, he just put his head where it hurts, basically. But that's the worry, isn't it, with Dan Burn? It's pace as well.
He's a brave fellow, isn't he? I think I've read somewhere every game he dislocates his shoulder, and he has to have that strapped up again. Yeah, he goes through the pain barrier to play for his boyhood club. I just think we need a little bit more than bravery at this level. It's fine having that, but you've got to have a little bit more about you. I think you've got to be able to pass the ball. I think you've got to be able to support your attack. Yeah. I think you've got to be able to read the game a little bit better than Dan does at times. But you can't fault him for effort. He's a 150% every time he plays. But absolutely. We're at the stage now. We're playing Champions League football. I just think we need a little bit more. And that's not anything against Dan Burn. He's been a fantastic servant, even though he's only been here less than 2 years. But he's been brilliant for us. But I think it's time we upgraded now. I really do. Yeah.
Jake, did you say you were at the game on Tuesday?
No, I was just watching it. I wish I was at the game. I wish. Right.
Yeah, a lot of us do. What's your reaction to sort of some of the fans saying that it was an embarrassment and we sort of didn't do ourselves any justice?
No, I don't think it was an embarrassment. I just think we had nothing in the final third. Like, we just looked like when we went to attack the ball, we were just so slow. We were just passing around the back looking for an opening, and by the time we moved forward, all the defence was back. So we took too long to attack. And then we put Miggy on, and he can only turn one way. He has to cut back. It's predictable. We've not got anything to, like, as soon as he cuts back, they're just going to know he's going to cut back. So they're just going to guard the cut back. So, but I think Isak, he needs to do what he did with Callum Wilson last season when he wasn't playing up to his best. I think he needs to just rest him for when, like, he needs to come on, or like 60 minutes. Because at the moment, I just think his mindset, I don't know what's going on. He just looks like he's like getting angry when the ball's getting passed to him. He's like staying too far up. It's just he doesn't look all right. I think
Wilson's a lot of us had Billy, we said it in commentary, didn't we? When he went to the left and he just looked so. The pass back that he did for Dan Burn that put us right in the shit was very lazy. But Eddie's admitted today that he's nursing a bit of a knee injury. So I'm not sure if that was if that happened during the game in Milan or whether he's been nursing it for a while. But if he's been nursing it for a while, Billy, why is he on the field?
I agree, and I actually think he was left a little bit out to dry hung out to dry on Tuesday. He was on the pitch 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes longer than what he should have been. Yeah. He was spent. He couldn't run anymore. They put him on the left-hand side. He did okay for 5 minutes or so. But after that, he was gone. He was absolutely gone, and he should have. Eddie Howe should have had the balls taken off really, and he didn't. He let it left it to the eight odd minute and brought Barnes on then.
I think we missed Joe Willock as well. I think Joe Willock is like a
absolutely.
massive part, definitely 100%. Because I feel like I do think Bruno and Tonali are kind of the same player. I feel like they do the same. I see like the same player, and like even when you've got Big Joe in the middle, obviously when we played Brighton, he was like when we didn't have that big muscly like centre mid, we just couldn't do anything because there was no one to push them off the ball or like make an attacking run. Like when Joe Linton's injured, I feel like we don't have a lot to pass the ball forward. Like I feel like it's a lot.
What do you think we signed him then, Jake? What did we sign Tonali for? It's because I've got a little theory about this, but what do you think?
I think it's because we wanted two creative midfielders and like one in the middle who's like strong. So we're gonna have two that are like the good passers and one that just bullies them off the ball.
Yeah.
But I feel like Bruno and Tonali are kind of similar because they're playing the same role at the moment. So they're just doing basically the same thing. But also it's not helping our attack at the moment. Like I feel like Anthony Gordon is like being made to do a lot of like the runs. I feel like because Isak's not performing very well, Gordon's got to try like run down, do as much of the work as he can because Isak's not obviously doing good at the moment. So I just feel like we need a bit more like something. I think if we're not going to play a hole, I think we should have bought like a James Maddison or something like that we could have used to help us when we're struggling.
Or would you have gone for a centre back instead of Tonali?
Ooh. I think I would rather have the right wing because I feel like when we bring.
I agree. I would have loved to have had Maddison. I think we've missed a trick with James Maddison. We know he was interested in coming, and for whatever reason, it didn't happen. And look how he's playing for Spurs at the minute. We desperately need somebody like that kind of player, Billy.
Absolutely, yeah. We needed more creativity in the side. David Hughes is actually putting in a chat what my theory is about why we've signed Tonali. I think it's in case they think Bruno is going to be off at some point, and there's possibilities that contract still hasn't been signed. They asked Eddie about it today. He said there's nothing impending on any contracts. So
which is annoying because we've heard various reports for the last couple of weeks that it's this word imminent and that everything's done and Newcastle United are ready to announce it. I mean, Eddie's not going to say anything anyway. Look how he was in the summer with the signings when new players were in the next room and he was saying, I don't know anything about it. He's certainly not saying anything until the club are ready. But there's obviously some kind of hold up here because, the press have mentioned it a few times that it's all sort of done and Newcastle are ready to announce it. But this was 2 weeks ago. I mean, are you worried, Jake, that something's going on?
Yeah, and I also think when people like make up fake stories about like who people are saying, I think that doesn't really help either. It just doesn't really help anything at all. It's just making
barbecues in the summer and things like that.
Yeah. But technically, I don't understand why Lewis Miley also because he was good in the preseason, and I feel like he's just been cut out a lot as well. Like I feel like why he was so good in the preseason. Like even if he's like not up to speed for the Champions League, like even put him on the bench for like the Premier League games. Like even if he puts him on at like 70 minutes. Another thing, I don't agree with some of the subs he's made. Like sometimes he's taking Isak off at the 80th minute. Like he's a good manager, but can you not see like?
Billy, exactly. Billy, that pissed you off the other night, didn't it? Because we know Isak should have been off 10, 15 minutes before, and that nearly cost us the game. To be honest, if he put Barnes on earlier, at least Barnes was fresh. He wouldn't have made the same mistakes Isak did. He was spent. You could see that. Moving on to Brentford before you go,
Sheffield United.
Jake, why do I keep saying Brentford? What the hell is wrong with me? I'm tired. Sheffield United, Bramall Lane. We're commentating on that on Sunday, Billy. I'm sure I'm going to say Community Stadium at Brentford, but something will happen like that. What's your feelings on Sunday? Do you think he's going to make a few changes?
I mean, if we think that Lewis Hall's going to play, then no, I don't think Lewis. I just think it's going to be. I think Dan Burn's going to be in, but like I think technically when Joe Willock comes back, I definitely think he's going to put Joe Willock in and just try something new. Like because I just feel like a lot of teams at the moment, because we're running the same team because of injuries, they're just predicting us a lot more. So, and I feel
would you like to see the formation change?
Ooh, yeah, I would. I agree with you. I don't think Isak is an out-and-out striker because when you see him on the wing at the moment, he's just playing so much better on the wing. Like when he's playing striker, it just looks like he's just lethargic. He doesn't look like an out-and-out striker.
He loves getting the ball, doesn't he? And just running at players, and that's what his game is.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's. I think if he's nursing a knee injury, then I don't think he's going to play. But I think I'd be actually disappointed if he doesn't make changes, Billy, because if he doesn't change the left back, I think Dan Burn needs a rest. I think moving to a 4-2-3-1 for me wouldn't be a bad idea, Billy, because he can play. Bruno, and if he says he's got 3 number 6s there, then play Bruno and Longstaff together in that role. Push Tonali further forward. Let's see what Tonali does further forward. Give him an option. Give him a free role, really, to go and do his stuff. And let's see how good this guy really is.
Well, if he's that confident with 3 of them doing it, he can swap and change during the game, can't he?
Well,
we should be fluid to kind of change as and when we need them to.
Yeah.
But we know Eddie Howe's not going to change the system. We know that. We was asking for it last season. Didn't happen once. We know last season we thought Dan Burns had been rested on more than one occasion, yet every game he played. So I'm with Jake. I think Dan Burn will play on Sunday. I think it'll be the same back 4 because we haven't conceded the goal for 2 games. Simple as that.
Even if we give him 20 minutes, and even if he gives Lewis Hall 20 minutes, at least we get to see what we bought. Like technically, we haven't got to see anything that we bought from Chelsea. Like we knew he was a good player, but we don't know how actually good he is going to be in our squad because we haven't even played him yet. Like even 10 minutes at the end of the thing, he could even just try him. Because Dan Burn, if he plays every game, like he's got a verse. Like we've got Champions League, we've got Man City in a couple of weeks. Like they've got fast players like Mbappe. Like if they switch him on the right wing, like Kyle Walker can only just about catch up the Mbappe.
Well, even if they don't, Jake, they've got Ousmane Dembele on the other side.
Yeah, so
crazy. I forgot about him. Shit. Yeah. Foxy says, "Good luck to Isaac Hayden. He's starting tonight for Standard Liège." Indeed. Right, what's your prediction, Jake, for Sunday then?
Ooh, I think it's going to be 2-1. I'm not going to do Alex and say Botman's going to score a header. I'm not going to say that because I don't think he's going to score a header. But yeah, a 2-1. I think Callum Wilson's going to get a goal, and I think you know what? I'm praying for a Bruno goal just because I think he's starting to play a bit better. But I want his confidence just to go up. I hope he scores a goal, even like a 20 yards out the box and going top corner. I believe
that would be nice. Well, listen, Jake, thank you very much for coming on and get yourself back on next week, mate. Good to have you on.
Thank you. Your channel's amazing. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers,
Thank
Jake.
you, mate. Thank you,
Good
Jake.
night.
Good night. So that was Jake. Good lad. Made some very, very good points there, Billy.
I agree.
We've had some very good points from everybody tonight. Now, we do, of course, have the live commentary of the Sheffield United game. Sheffield United at Bramall Lane on Sunday, of course. Kickoff is 4:30. Me and Billy will be live on air from 4 p.m. With the huge build-up to the game. And, of course, the all-important team news. Will we be happy about the team, Billy? Will we be sort of puzzled by it? Will we be scratching our heads thinking, we've done that plenty. We've done that plenty last season, but we were proved wrong so many times. This season, little bit different. We do have a massive announcement to make on Sunday as well during that watch-along, guys. Huge announcement on the channel, so make sure you're tuned in if you're not at the game. It is on, I think it's on Sky, isn't it? It is, yeah. So if you're watching the TV, just knock the sound off, listen to the commentary with me and Billy, and we will take you through the game. Play by play, of course, as we normally do. And it'll be great to have you alongside us in the chat as well, talking about the game. So thank you very much for watching, guys. We will be back, as I say, on Sunday. Day off for us tomorrow. So we'll be back on Sunday at 4 p.m. Me and Billy to bring you the commentary. Thank you to Super Chatters and, of course, the Mod Squad tonight. Great work, as usual. Thank you to everyone that joined us on the show. And this is going to be probably a regular thing now on a Friday night is the Face the Lads show. So, when we say we'll see you next week, it's going to be a Friday night thing. So hopefully you can join us and we'll get more people on next week. Thank you very much, Billy. But mainly thank you to you guys out there for joining us on a Friday night. And we will see you at 4 p.m. Sunday, ready for the game against Sheffield United. It's a huge game, and hopefully we celebrate 3 points. So we will see you on Sunday. Have a cracking weekend, guys. Good night.
How are the lads and lasses?
Come back and check out the breeze.